To be started number 7 is this man cooking or not? The illusion of decolonization in dating abroad. Let me grab the link now. The link takes us to Twitter, it seems. Link takes us to Twitter. Let me share it with you guys. Again, if you're new here, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the like, and let people know. Invite other folks.
Black American men are so incredibly used to just looking at beautiful Black women on the internet and fantasizing about what it would be like to have a woman that looked like that. That's because you've been in the United States of America all your life, and you've run into nothing but difficulty when it comes to extremely beautiful Black women. You don't even realize that there are more Black women outside of the United States than inside the United States. And not only are those Black women extremely beautiful, but they are extremely cooperative. You don't need any game. You don't need to be the coolest with the most swag. All you need to do is be a nice guy, and they will be 100% cooperative with you. You can practically pick any African nation where Black men run the show, and those extremely beautiful Black women within that country will be extremely cooperative with you. And all you have to do is just be a nice guy. Be yourself. Get your passports, brothers. Stop dreaming and make all your dreams come true.
That shit was funny as hell. Stop dreaming and make all your dreams come true. Let's play it one more time. One more again for you guys.
Black American men are so incredibly used to just looking at beautiful Black women on the internet and fantasizing about what it would be like to have a woman that looked like that. That's because you've been in the United States of America all your life, and you've run into nothing but difficulty when it comes to extremely beautiful Black women. You don't even realize that there are more Black women outside of the United States than inside the United States. And not only are those Black women extremely beautiful, but they are extremely cooperative. You don't need any game. You don't need to be the coolest with the most swag. All you need to do is be a nice guy, and they will be 100% cooperative with you. You can practically pick any African nation where Black men run the show, and those extremely beautiful Black women within that country will be extremely cooperative with you. And all you have to do is just be a nice guy. Be yourself. Get your passports, brothers. Stop dreaming and make all your dreams come true.
Boy. Lero in the chat says you got to go overseas to get a decent partner. Now my ex doesn't like this type of talk at all. Uwabantum says, oh, here comes the Sims accusations. Now my ex says Sims shouldn't be allowed to make videos. Harsh Reality Podcast says incel pum pum infomercial. Yeah, the guy ended that with a call to action, right? Trigger Happy 262 says, I would respect passport bros if they didn't lie about rhetoric, weren't coons, and were generally trying to find a wife, but they pushing political propaganda that doesn't also add the enemy in it. Now my ex thanks Harsh Reality Podcast. Thank you. Now brothers adopting incel European mentality. Uwabantum says there will be only one country, Africa, with satellites such as Dravanado, Haiti, and Jamaica lands and neighborhoods. Oh, he's talking about the previous thing. Trigger Happy 262, and thanks for Uwa for being here, by the way. Trigger Happy 262 says instead they are blaming their own people. Meanwhile, they're just getting pum pum. Just be honest. We should push inter-diasporans dating, but not in the passport bro format. I actually agree with that, actually. Lyro says you don't need any game. All you need to do is be a nice guy. I wonder how African women outside the U.S. feel about this. Gasimov says passport bros make no sense, but American women are finito, dunzo. Tanzan African Mind says selling dreams hard, LOL. Real Black Gentleman says, don't be a nice guy, fellas. Gasimov says most men in America can't name their children. They just get big chicken and some sex on the holidays. Uwe Bantam says, salute Koku and the KWAZ radio. Harsh Rowdy Podcast says, how about you go to Africa just to visit? And if you meet someone, you like them cool instead of talking about picking women like you're in the candy store. I agree with that too. With that said, Bakari had to drop off. It's late for Bakari, and he was on for a long time earlier today. I'll go to Carl first. Carl, what say you to this?
Well, I have my issues with the passport bros. Just a confession. My father, my biological father, he married a woman from Brazil. He was on that passport bro stuff before it got popular. A couple of years ago, I have two younger sisters. My dad got married to this Brazilian woman, and she took him for a ride. She took him for a ride. I don't think these women from overseas are, better, or they're more submissive, or they're more cooperative. That's not always the case. People are people. People have the capability to do anything they want. So, as was said in the chat, just if you want to go over there and you meet somebody nice, that's fine. But I think the issue is this, that the idea you could take these women from overseas, they're not used to having things, and you can exploit them and take advantage of them. That's kind of the issue that a lot of people have. He is using incel talking points, which stands for involuntarily celibate. That's something that white men are on. I don't necessarily agree with that, but I do think many times that, and I'm saying this as an American, Black American, African American person, that there's almost like an undeclared gender war many times between Black men and Black women that you see online, not so much in real life. So it does kind of affect many times our relationships with each other. And I think many Black men, we're caught up in this European idea of what relationships are supposed to look like. And I think if we go overseas where, women tend to have not as many, not so I wouldn't say the rights, but they don't have the freedoms that women have in America. We think those women will be more submissive, but once they get a taste of American life, they turn into American women. So it's a weird thing to me, but I don't necessarily have a problem with brothers going overseas and meeting people, but I think it has to be done with a certain level of respect and understanding, and not try to take advantage of these women. That's just my thoughts on that. So I'll pass the mic.
I appreciate that, Carl. Nama X was laughing. Trigger Happy 262 said they basically frame it. Actually, let me go back. I think he had another comment. No, he says they basically frame it as if only American women are bad. Yeah, America is bad and makes our people regress, but Brazil is also a settler colonial state. Real Black Gentleman says there are plenty of women in America. The time to find them can be limited. Interesting comments, man. I appreciate y'all's commentary. I'm gonna mix it up a little bit. I'm gonna go with Oni next. Oni, what say you next?
Anyway, yeah, I know, right? Well, I don't know who y'all boy Gas was talking about, but he said there was a sex tourist. But he said that sex tourist ran out of money, so I know he ain't talking about me. One thing Oni don't do is run out of money. But what I could say is that before I went to Africa for 3 months, I probably would have been on, what is he talking about? Because I didn't even hear about passport bros when I was in Africa. No, I heard about it from one of these dudes. I was telling him, that I got some ladies, and he was like, "Oh, you sound like a passport bro." And I was like, "What the fuck is that?" You know what I'm saying? So I came back and I heard that, apparently this was like a new political movement type stuff. I don't know, a new internet movement. But what I would say is that, yeah, I mean, especially all right, I'll say, for instance, for New York, like when I came back to New York City, all right, for when I was in Africa, I had the drip. You know what I mean? Now, I'm not too much drip, but I had drip in Africa because a lot of the dudes wasn't, like, generally where I was hanging around, people wasn't about style too much. You know what I mean? Not saying that you couldn't find people with more drip, but that's a thing, right? But I came back to Brooklyn.
I'm sorry, what is drip?
You see what I'm saying? See, the woman from East Africa is like, what is drip? You see what I'm saying? Like, you got, like, you already know, like, you know what I mean? Like, they don't have drip like that, like there, right? Not just messing. You know, I'm saying, like, you know, just being stylish, just styling, you know what I'm saying? But now I come back, like, you know, highly fashionable, not highly fashionable, but, you know, like, you know, well-dressed type thing. You know, a lot of people just kind of functional, utilitarian type stuff, not really like, you know, on that model shit. I come back to Brooklyn, okay? You know, I think I got drip. I go to an event, I'm thinking I got drip. Nah. You know what I mean? like you got, like, I'm even like conscious drip, even like black conscious drip. Like, these motherfuckers look like they just walked out of Egypt, some shit like that. You know what I mean? Like, they was just decked, you know? So I'm saying that the competition is going to be more fierce here, obviously. Even if you do got game, you know? Because like these are like some of these people that, you know, I don't know much about the Passport Bros. I only see the bad things about them. Like, one dude went to you know, went to some island and was like oh, he ran out of money. You know what I'm saying? Which is like, yeah, that sucks. You know what I mean? But oh, one dude was complaining about how the women started putting their prices up, you know? Like, yeah, that sucks. But as far as like if you, like, I'm saying, like, realistically, one thing I would say is this. First off, I would say I think it is a good idea for Black people in the West to repatriate. And by repatriate, that doesn't necessarily mean you go bring your American ass or your Caribbean ass or whatever. You go bring yourself and everything that you have there. It means go there and, you know, adapt with the culture. And it also means go there and bring some capital. You know, go there and make some woman happy. You know what I mean? You can do that. So I'm not against the idea of, you know, you can find a good relationship abroad. Because if people really paid attention to my first book, Zubiri, it's about a dude who's looking for a good relationship, and he's looking for a continental woman. You know what I'm saying? Now he does find you can find a continental woman in the West, right? But you could also find a continental woman on the continent. And I think that that's an important thing for us to do, particularly when it comes to us, you know, genetically. That said, like, but when he says that, oh, the beautiful women are looking at you like you a prize, that's a thing. You know, that's a thing that's really surprising. So what I'll say is that in New York, if you're trying to get with an Instagram model, right? In New York, you gotta be on your shit. You know what I mean? You gotta be like the top 10%, top 5% of brothers in New York, which, if people don't know, New York City, brothers in New York, like, if you're top 5% of New York City, you got money. You know what I mean? Like, I say I don't run out of money. I'm not saying I got a lot of money. I'm just saying I don't run out, right? These motherfuckers, top 5% of New York, you don't got it, right? Most of us don't, right? But if you now go into Africa, like, you know, Gas, like I said, you know, broken clock, right, twice a day, right? Gas was saying, look, if you're just making $1,000 a month, right, you good in Nigeria. You understand? So if you are good in Nigeria, the Instagram models, and maybe not the top Instagram models, but the Instagram models, right, are like, yeah, let me get a piece of you. Now, you might say, well, I don't want an Instagram model. That's fine. But the reality is this, that if you could get the Instagram model, you probably could get the one that you really want. You know? So one of the things I got quasi viral over this too, right, was this idea that, you know, the Passport Bros is just doing what the white boy, because I think that's what Bit of Medicine was saying to me. But the Passport Bros is just doing what the white boy does to black American women. He comes in, he got that incel energy, but he got money. You know what I mean? He ain't Negro rich, he's rich. You know what I'm saying? So, or he's middle class. You know what I'm saying? He ain't black rich, he's middle class. So if you like what I'm saying is that, and so I think Tanzania was making an argument. She was like, you're just using colonialism type shit. And it's like, all of us, brother, all of us is using colonialism. I'm talking to this mic through colonialism. I got, if I'm dating a woman in America, I'm still using the money that I got, to get with her, and I'm using the transportation I got to, it's like you always going to be in the system. So it really becomes, if you are trying to, if you think you should build a life in Africa, right? Then maybe you should also find your wife in Africa. Because that's another thing that I will say this, and people don't really understand this. One of the things, really reasons why I'm in America is because I have a kid in America. But if you really want to build a life somewhere, then you should, find a husband or a wife somewhere. You know what I mean? Because that way you are locked down there. But if you like, oh, well, I'm going to find it out, I have a kid, I have a family here. The reality is this, your partner could be like, oh, I ain't going there. Or even if you break up like I did, right? You all of a sudden, you can't take somebody's kid out of the country without them, pretty much, or without their permission type stuff. You know what I mean? So, you got to coordinate with them type shit. It's like, if we being real, I think the Password Bros might be on some incel shit. Sure, some of them. But the reality is that fundamentally, if they're telling you, hey, go, contribute to the economy in Africa by any means necessary, and if it makes you happy to, pay for pom pom, that's fine. But the reality is this, that if you don't contribute to the economy, then what? How is it better to not help? You know what I'm saying? And that's the real question, because a lot of us just holding on to our dollars and holding up our noses. But the reality is this: if you going down to Africa, if you going up to Africa, let's say, right? If you're going up to Africa, you put it in, and you drop in bills, people's lives are improving. That's all I'm gonna say.
Only I gotta say that's the greatest. That's the greatest trying to connect two things I've ever witnessed in my life. But it's a good attempt. The attempt of saying, well, it's about adding to the economy. But that's an interesting connection you made there. I ain't gonna hold you, as you would say.
White boy don't take me to court for a reason. You know what I'm saying?
My goodness. Lero said exactly what I was thinking. He was like, he really forced it. That shit was crazy. By the way, Uwa, you should connect with Trigger Happy. I think you guys on a very similar wavelength. You guys should definitely connect in some of those groups. Tanzan, you've heard everything said. You see what's going on in the chat. What say you?
Oh wow. Yeah, so he was just over there doing some charity work, great spin. For me, when it comes to people going over, whichever side they want to go over, I think that, yeah, there's some things that just happen, organically. Where you are is who you're going to be around and so on. But leaving your community is not really going to help your community. I think if somebody wants to leave and go find something else, that's their personal decision, just like you can go and find better economic opportunities and so on. So there's nothing wrong with expanding your search, especially if you feel that you have exhausted your options where you are. The only thing that I would say about people who go over there is that if you're going away to, let's say, run away from, these women are no good and so on and so forth, and the same thing with the women, the men are not any good, so they're going to go off, and find somebody else. If you have not really, you are also part of that system. You're also part of that thing that made them, that damaged them. There's nobody who is walking away from it, untouched. If the women in America are damaged, so are the men. They did not somehow miraculously escape whatever, the system that, these women were under. So if you do want to go over, you also have to, to transform yourself in a way, and also work on yourself to firstly be the kind of person that somebody is going to want to be around. You don't want somebody just, yeah, it can be transactional. That's legal and so on and commercial. But if you want something serious, then you have to work on yourself. You can't just escape and say, oh, well, these people here are no good and therefore I'm going to go over there. You have to examine yourself and say, what about me? How am I relating to the people around me? And am I part of the problem? And what part of the problem am I before you go off on the other side? Because you'll still carry those things that you have to a different place. Going to another country or another place is not going to change if you yourself are still the same person. So I don't think it's a mass solution. I think it's a good thing if you're going somewhere. Let's say you're going to get a job or travel or just see a place. You don't have to attach it to one thing or another, but at least getting the experience will also lead to people becoming. I think it's more important to work on yourself than to think that, oh, all is bad, let me go find something else. Usually the problem is not so much the people, it's the environment. And like someone said, even if you go bring the purest, most cooperative person from the so-called third world countries and you bring them into this environment, it's not going to take long for them to become part of it, and even worse because they're not prepared for it. They don't understand what it is that they're getting into. So sometimes it might even be just as detrimental to try to bring the poor innocent person to you and then going over there. So it's a very difficult proposition. It just sounds attractive in the beginning, and then people end at, oh, and they lived happily ever after. There's no happily ever, there's no after. With most of these things, it's just going, having some, experiences and coming back. You can't live forever and you can't live either. So I don't know, if people want to do it, they can, but it's more of a cultural issue that you can't really live the culture that you're born in. And if you don't understand the culture that you're going into, you're going to find it very difficult to be there. So, yeah.
Yo, Odio's my boy, but god damn. Yo, that's the greatest fucking connection.
Wait, I missed it. What's going on? I don't know what you're laughing at. I just caught up with the chat. I don't know what's going on. Like, people just making shit. How am I the cat person? But y'all be just making shit up, man. Like, yo, I went to Africa. I had a good time, man. I bought a farm. I got a new business. I got all sorts of shit, man. I don't even know what's going on. Like, how am I getting cooked? Like, what? I came back safe and sound. Look, the thing that happened with that, y'all talk about that lady. Look, I just got a video. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's it. Apparently it's illegal in that country. I had no idea, but I just had a video. So,
wow.
I mean, look, I came out the winner. I don't know. That's what I'm saying, man. Like, I came out a winner. I don't know what this whole what this story of, I came out a litter. Yeah, I came out a winner,
Yay.
Exactly. You know what I'm
saying? My God. Is there any last words? Is there any last words on this prompt here? If not, let me grab should we start picking number 8 tonight. Hold on. What the hell? I can't copy paste this shit. Hold on a second. Wait a minute. What's going on? I can't copy paste, huh? For fuck's sake. Hold on a second. Let me If it ain't only shit, there's some other shit going on. That's some damn. Let me go back. I have to go back on the Discord and find it. I don't know what's going on here tonight, but this next prompt, this next prompt, it's about the Berlin Estates in Africa. So let me see if I could find that on the Discord. Yeah, I got it here. Okay. Let me just copy paste this. What prompt is this now? This is Shoot the Breeze. Topic number 8. Shoot the Breeze. Topic number 8 is a little bit long, but you'll get it.